Welcome to day 255 of our DeSo journey. I'm Ed Krasenstein here with my twin brother, Brian. And remember, these videos are sponsored by the NFT project Cloutcox.
Yeah, and Cloutcox has really taken off over the course of the last month. Um, there's like a huge fan base already, and I know that there's people that own way more than one of these things. I can just go quickly through the list of like the top holders of Cloutcox. And number one is Rhinelf, who has 9 of them.
Wow.
And then DOZ, BitBoss, Gowerd, and Gawerji each own 6. DOZ just bid on one, I think it was yesterday. I think he won one for about $650 right after his $10,000 winnings. Congrats, DOZ. But yeah, they each have 6, and then Paul Burke has 5 Cloutcox.
Yeah, that's awesome. There's a lot of big time collectors in there. So yesterday, there wasn't too much news. We'll touch on what there was. So as many of you know, whaleshark.pro has kind of put this challenge out to the community to build an Instagram-like DeSo node, DeSo app. And, you know, their story, which is kind of like that, you know, they take the stories from Instagram. And Whaleshark also mentioned he wanted the ability to mint these posts as NFTs on the Instagram like note. So a DeSo user named Chris Solea, Chris Solea, I hope I'm saying that right, Chris, heard about this challenge, and he got right into creating an app. And he has an app that he's created that looks almost exactly like Instagram, except it says DeSo on top. And you can check it out by going to his page, and there's some screenshots over there. But that was some really quick iteration. I'm sure he could make changes and maybe integrate, you know, NFTs in there, or maybe he's just doing it as like a play project and he doesn't plan on actually releasing it. I don't know, but it looks really cool. I'd like to see like some videos of it in action because it seems like it has potential.
Yeah, and I think this is like healthy competition. You've got several people working on Instagram like projects already. And I think Whale Shark kind of just spawned even more people who are going to jump into the mix. And it's only a good thing for the platform and for the protocol, because Instagram is going to be an Instagram clone is going to be something that's going to attract a lot of mainstream users. So it's great that several people are working on it, and at least one of them is going to do it right, I assume.
Yeah, probably more than one. But Augusto Olmedo yesterday made a suggestion, which I thought was really interesting. He suggested that Nader and Zordon take some advice from, not advice, but take a look at Entra, which is the new DeSo node that they integrated with DeSo a few days ago, and utilize some of the features they use for encouraging new users to take action on the platform. Do you want to talk a little bit about that, Brian?
Yeah, I mean, since the start of the referral program, there's been a lot of discussion and a lot of suggestions around how we can encourage new users to stick around, to engage, and to build up their profile and become an everyday user. And one of those suggestions was to, excuse me, don't just give $25 away right away. Break it down. So maybe you can give $5 away when somebody signs up. Maybe you can give $5 away when somebody starts following their first 10 people, $5 away when they make their first post, $5 away when they get their first 50 diamonds. So like break it down. That's what Entra is doing. And Augustine pointed that out. If you go to Entra, you get a point system. You're not getting money. I don't know how the point system exactly works, but you get points for doing different tasks in completing your profile. So it kind of lets you slowly build up a point total by further progressing on the platform, by doing these various tasks and building out your profile and engaging with people. And I think that's a great idea. Great. Thanks to Augustine for pointing that out, because I think that Diamond app would be perfect for that. And that would be a great way to break down the referral reward. And I know that it went down. It's no longer $25. Well, yeah, it is $25, right, for the person that gets it. So that would be great. You can break it down maybe 5 ways, and it will keep people around. And since Diamond app has so many options, whether it's likes or diamonds or coin buys or coin sells, you could just you'd pick and choose. Maybe there's 10 different tasks you can do, and the first 5 you get $5.
Yeah, I don't know if it would necessarily be on Diamond App, or maybe it's something on the protocol level so that all the nodes can kind of use the same point system. But I do like the idea. So Entra, they offer 15 points for a first post, 20 points for following 25 people, 30 for following 50 people, 10 for inviting friends via email. I think that's a pretty cool idea. If you can type in an email address to invite, and it sends out an email to them to invite them to the platform. I think that they could take a lot of the ideas that Entra uses, but then again, maybe that's going to take away from Entra. Like Entra offers this, so
Yeah, but maybe they could allow Entra to also offer free cash for signing up, and Entra could build that into their system as
yeah,
well.
good point.
And maybe every other node could as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good idea, and I'm sure they're going to discuss it. I thanks Augustin for putting that out there in the universe. But Supernovas yesterday, they've added one-click Arweave minting. So you can now mint an NFT on Arweave. I mean, on Supernovas, if you're a verified creator, and you can upload, that image can be uploaded directly to Arweave. Arweave's been a pain in the neck if you do it manually. Brian and I have used it on the BitClout Kids series we did, and you got to buy Arweave tokens, and you got to go to our drive to upload your image, and then you got to get the link, and then you got to put it in Diamond App when you make the post. So I think that's a great feature. I think ultimately, there's going to be different people who have different ideas of, do we want decentralized image hosting on Arweave? I mean, in a perfect world, I think that's the way to go. There's also people who use IPFS for decentralized hosting. It's not exactly the same as the blockchain technology, but it is decentralized hosting that you can essentially keep your image there forever. But then there's NFT artists who, they don't care. They just upload it to a centralized server that they think will be there for the long term, such as, like a Google Drive, or, there's various ones out there, Dropbox. And, I think different artists are going to have different opinions. Different collectors are going to have different opinions. I think some collectors will value, decentralized storage more, because that image is always going to be in that spot. But then you also can look at some of the historic NFT projects that hold value, like CryptoPunks. And CryptoPunks are actually on a centralized server. They're not decentralized, and they're worth $9 million. So, I mean, they do use some hash. They use the hash to basically confirm that that's a real image, but that server could be erased one day, and those $9 million CryptoPunks would vanish. You'd still own the NFT that says you own it, but technically it could vanish. So it's an interesting thing. We're going to kind of see how this area evolves. Do we start seeing more, Filecoin and Arweave type decentralized blockchain hosting for images? I think ultimately that's probably going to be the direction we move in. Maybe IPFS will still hold some of that weight, but I think we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, it's all a waiting game. We got to see how things shape up. But yeah, I like the idea of being able to do it. I kind of integrate it all into one, like Supernovas has done. It makes things simpler, and it kind of takes a lot of the back end work out of things when you're minting an NFT.
Well, one thing I've noticed with Arweave is that it's kind of slow. Like the images don't load as fast as they do on the DeSo, if they're being called from the DeSo servers. So, maybe the ultimate solution in the long run is to host it on Arweave, have the NFT actually, link to that, or have the metadata that points to that Arweave hosted image, but also host them locally on the NFT node or on DeSo as well, so that they load faster. I know we had an animated GIF or GIF, however you want to say it, for BitClout Kids on Arweave, and it just took forever to load up. So, I think all this is going to evolve as time goes on. And NFTZ has added some more support for traits. There were some issues actually where people were uploading traits in a different syntax than others were. So, Paul Burke, he created this syntax for uploading traits. And that's what I know NFTZ was using that as basically our default trait syntax. But there were some other, I believe some people minting on supernovas were using a different syntax. So on NFTZ, that those traits weren't showing correctly. So Martijn ended up correcting that, and we now have multiple syntax that can be used for the traits. And I'm sure there's probably gonna be syntax added in the future as well, just because, you know, new nodes are gonna pop up and use different ways of creating the traits.
Yeah, and I think that just like with Arweave, I think things are the market's gonna adapt to certain different aspects of it. And I think for now, the best way to do things moving forward, if you're running a node, is to try and support as many as you can, as many of the popular, I guess, ways of going about things as you can, and see what one actually becomes the, I guess, most popular. And I mean, this happens in every industry. You see different I mean, scripts and different everything. Like there's different I guess you could say say like ways of doing things for pretty much every new technology, and you just got to kind of wait and see which one kind of pans out.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's all we have.
Hey, and one other thing, we saw Alex Villegas was meeting with Fast Freddy and Dylan Jagger Lee last night. They're working even on the weekends.
Looked like they were
It's good
drinking
to see
tea. I
those
don't know if
three
they were,
guys.
I don't think they were working. I think they were just drinking tea.
But I'm sure they were discussing DeSo. And Dylan's great. If you haven't been following him, he's probably one of the most optimistic people on DeSo as you can get. I noticed he bought a bunch of DeSo, I think it was yesterday, and he's just so positive. He does a lot of work on Twitter and helping to promote DeSo. So way to go, Dylan. And it was nice to see everybody together. Fast Freddy had a big smiley face over his face, so we don't really know exactly what he looks like, but
Maybe that's just his
happy.
face. Could that just be his face?
Could be.
All right, I think that's all we have for today, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.